So I had this realization today that I've never really talked about why I'm doing this, and what the purpose is and kind of my journey. And so I wanted to share that. So, of course, I'm very into the law of attraction, law of assumption. I definitely have beliefs that what you focus on is what you're going to get. And I have found this across many teachers, right? I started this with learning about The Secret. And I watched the documentary and I was like, whoa, I think there is something to this. And so I started digging in and I ended up landing on Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard. I've gone to some other teachers, Dr. Joe Dispenza. And one of the things that I was kind of struggling on as I went through this journey was trying to figure out how to put it all together, right? So I understood the concept of, okay, you have to really change your thoughts and you can't continue to be the same person. Dr. Joe talks about how you're breaking the habit of being yourself. Neville Goddard talks about how you can't put new wine into old casings. They all really kind of say the same story. But I was like, man, I'm just still kind of struggling to figure out how to put it together. And then there's so much conflicting information. And so then I started to dig a little bit deeper and I ran into learning more about like people like Tony Robbins. Mel Robbins is another one. There's somebody else that's like kind of popping in my head, but I can't think of their name right now. But they are all teachers who are teaching people how to change their lives. They're teaching people how to do it and get like more energy, be more focused, learn how to really uplift themselves, challenge themselves. And it kind of hit me that I was like, all of these people are teaching the same thing. Some are very, very focused on the spirituality side of it, the Bible, God, which I think is beautiful, and I'm definitely all about that message. But some are much more into the practicality of the things that you can do day to day, and they have very motivational speech. Tony Robbins, especially, is somebody who's like very in your face. He's big and he's bold, and he's kind of always like rah, rah, rah. And but what they all boiled down to for me was like, okay, I can make sustainable changes that will continue in my life. And what they come down to is my habits. And so the purpose of my content and what I'm trying to teach is it's okay to be spiritual. It's okay, of course, to believe in God and recognize God in all of the amazing things that happen in your life and give thanks to God, because I definitely do every day. But it's also okay to look at this as like the same way you would look at gravity. And I firmly believe this. What you focus on is what you're going to get. If you're always focused on what you don't have and what is not working out for you and ho hum, poor you, you're going to continue to get proof of that over and over in your life. It's going to actually be the thing that you noticed. There was a study that was done. I don't have the information right off the top of my head why I'm talking about this, but there was a study that was done. And it's actually listed in the Power of Habit book. And that study was they took people, dang it, I can't remember exactly how they did it, but they took people and some they were really, really nice to them, like over explained the thing that they needed them to do. And some they were a little bit more curt. They weren't rude, but they were just curt. Like, we're going to do the study. You need to do this. Don't eat the chocolate chip cookies, I think was what it was. And then the other people, they were really nice about it. Like, hey, we really just need you to focus on not eating the cookies. It would like really help us out. Please don't eat the cookies. Thank you. And left the room. And then later, they had them look at a newspaper and they asked both groups, okay, count how many pictures are in this newspaper and come back and report to us. Well, the people who were spoken to nicely did it substantially faster than the people who were not spoken to nicely and were spoken to a little bit more curtly. And the reason being was because if you looked on like the first or second page of the paper, it actually had a sentence that said, there's 42 pictures, you can stop counting. But the people that were more in a negative frame of mind didn't even see that message. Like, the majority of them didn't see it. Like, it was right there in front of their face and they couldn't see it. So I think that's why when people say, hey, creation is finished, it's because all of this stuff is literally right in front of your face and you're not able to even perceive it or grasp it because of the way that your mind is like conditioned to believe. And so what I found was like, holy cow, I can take this very spiritual side and realize that creation is finished and God is here for me, and I can pray to my Father and I can give thanks, and I can realize that I am truly a fragment of God. Everybody that is in this world, everything that is in this world is a fragment of God. That is what the universe is. That's my belief. I completely respect any of your beliefs. But I can combine that with this understanding of that I can make small habitual changes to my life, the way that I'm thinking, the way that I present myself, the way even that I spend my day, and start to see these massive changes. And so that's what I did. I started to say, okay, I keep trying to change myself overnight. I want to be a different person. I want to present myself differently. Like I've shared before, I had felt like I had lost kind of a lot about myself. I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go and the way that I wanted to do things. And so I was like, man, I've really lost myself. And it was creating this like really negative kind of behavior. I would say even my spouse was probably like, kind of tired of your crap. Like, you're not a great person sometimes to be around. Because that was my perception. That's what I was viewing. And I didn't want to continue that way. And I knew that I wanted to change that. And so I started to really take a look at, okay, I'm not doing this overnight. And I'm getting frustrated from that. And I was in the Reddit community for a while. Some of you who follow me might have known me from the Reddit community. And I really was sucked into these stories of like people just not being very nice and really kind of negative thoughts, and having to go through a queue of like 50 posts a day of this doesn't work and I hate my life. And I mean, I even got messages from people like threatening to kill themselves if I didn't help them figure out how to get a specific person. One of my infamous stories was somebody like literally sent me pictures of their poop over and over because they were mad at me. And now I laugh at it. And actually I laughed at the time. I was like, that is so disgusting. And I finally just blocked them because they sent it like 10 times in a row. It was really gross. But so that kind of stuff was seeping into my subconscious, and I was like, I've got to get away from here. I can't do this anymore. And so that was a habit change that I decided to do, is to say, I'm not coming to Reddit every day. I'm not going to get myself sucked into this. I can't do this anymore. So when I started, though, to make these small habitual changes, I started to notice better stuff happening and things happening faster, and my mood was changed, and I was just like, I felt better about myself and I saw myself better. And it was like, and things did start to happen. Like financially, things are a lot better for me now than they have ever been. So I'm very thankful for that. I've got this amazing relationship with my kids. I'm very thankful for that. And I have these really great blessings in my life that I don't think I would have had I not figured this out. And so the purpose of me doing this content is to say, okay, let's start with sustainable changes. And that's why I suggest adding joys to your day. And I'm going to put together kind of a document, and I was thinking about doing like a workshop to help people kind of start to go through these steps and not take as long as I did to get through these steps. But to teach people of like, you can actually change the way that your mind thinks. You can rewire your brain, and this is scientific. So you can combine the woo-woo kind of part of, law of attraction and law of assumption, and, God being in everything, and the way that you pray and the way that you're asking for things, and, that what you focus on is what your reality is. You can combine that with actual scientific research and do daily small steps that will help you really start to up-level your life. It has completely worked for me. I shared it with others. They have had great success with it. And it's just these like little steps. And that's what I'm trying to share on the channel. It's like, make it about you, turn your focus, change what you're looking at, start with these small habits, and you can truly change your life.